Hey there, Charlie. How's it going? So I've got the unit here on my workbench, which is really just a desk. I just like to call it that. But as I said last night, I've got the unit taken into two pieces here, and essentially all that consisted of was you've got these little connectors here. Let me zoom in. You got these little, just these little clips that surround the unit, right on the side here, up near the top. And basically, when you pull them, just you unclip them. Basically, that's all you do, and the unit the whole faceplate just lifts straight up. And when you, one second, it's kind of awkward trying to hold my iPhone at the same time. But basically, when you have the unit, the faceplate unclipped, it just lifts straight up. And when you lift it straight up, well, I've already unclipped the ribbon cables, but you've got this connector right here, connector right there, and they are just plugged in right there, and same thing on the other side, and you just pull those apart. It's as easy as unplugging a lamp from an outlet in your wall. It's very simple, and those are the only things holding the faceplate to the unit. It's really simple. So that's all I did. I just pulled that off to take a look at it, and here, I'll place this down right here, and so yeah, here's the inside of your unit, and yours looks almost exactly the same. Basically, here is your LCD screen. Like I said, I'm using my iPhone, so clarity won't be too great. And this is your CD input for music CDs. Up here you've got, well, on my unit, it's a CD-ROM map CD input for your navigation. Slide the CD in. And on yours, this is where you put in the DVDs to watch movies and for your navigation stuff. But yeah, so, oh, and just for your information, here, and then you've got two more on the other side as well. That's actually what screws it into the car. And it just that's the harness, so to speak. Anyway, so moving on to the issues with the unit. When I first pulled it out of the box, and I had not done anything to it, I just looked at it. The first thing I noticed was when you press down on the buttons, well, this one doesn't do it as much, but when you press down on the button here, you'll notice it a lot with this one. You press down on the button, it sinks all the way in the unit, and this did the exact same thing when it was fully attached to the unit. Everything, just pulled it out of the box, it did the same thing. It sinks into the unit completely. And the other side does it as well, not quite as much, but basically, if I hold the back of the button like this, then it works. Then you can press it down just like normal. And the reason for this, oh, and also as far as the buttons not lighting up, all these light up, all this side lights up. This one, which is, we think, remember, the power button is the one that we think is the issue. That one doesn't light up, that one doesn't light up, that one doesn't light up, which, since this one doesn't light up and we know this one is not working, that also makes me suspect that maybe these two won't work either, since they're not lit up. If there's any correlation between that, I don't know. But not only that, but these three are all connected on the back of the unit. I'll show you in a second. They're connected, so if say this one wasn't getting connection, these other two wouldn't also. So that might, if one of them goes out, what I'm basically saying is they'd probably all go out. So, I don't know, but I'm just speculating as far as that. Now, anyway, so here I'll flip it over. Basically, like I was saying, that's where it plugs into the main unit. And now the reason for the buttons sinking in like they do is because here you have this is the circuit board and the back of the button. It's the support. And the little gold thing is like the back of the circuit board. As you can see here, let me zoom in. As you can see here, you've got that screw right there is supposed to be attached to the circuit board, but it's since been broken. And over here, now that is attached, but the actual little stand that it broke away from the plastic. As you can see, it just broke. And to be honest, I'm surprised that Cadillac even did that. Like, they should have made a better support, because it's crazy to think that dozens of people are going to be pressing on these buttons for years and years. That seems like a very small amount of support for Cadillac to design for their buttons, you'd think they'd have a greater amount of support so that that doesn't crack like that. But so I don't really think it's necessarily like anything in particular about this unit. I think that might have happened on lots of units. It just seems a really small amount of support for the the amount of stress that's going to be going on from people pounding on those buttons, and I think that just happened on this unit from people pressing on it way too many times over the years. And same thing on this side, the same issue, that's cracked in the buttons. So when you press it in, this is actually what's happening to the button when you press it in. It's like lifting up completely. Now now the other, you've got those two screws right there, like I said. Now these two things right here, they just slide over right that, like they're like little posts. They just kind of hold it in place, and so those two screws are actually holding it down. And basically, it should look the exact same on the other side. You should have that little thing right there should be holding it down, or not holding it down, but holding it in place, just kind of stopping it from sliding around. And then it should look the same up here, but it doesn't. This you'll find interesting, and I think this may help you if we do decide to return this. If I do, if I return it and you decide to return it to the guy who sold it to you, this might help you. The issue here is that should look the same as as that little post right there. That little post right there, it should look the same as that. It doesn't. It honestly looks to me as if someone, and you can barely see it in the video, but in person it looks like someone actually melted it down to accomplish the same job as what those screws were supposed to do. So basically to stop the button from lifting up, and as you can see, it doesn't as much because that thing is holding it down there. And basically what I'm thinking is this looks to me as evidence that someone has taken the unit, the faceplate off before I did, and actually worked on this themselves. And if someone did that, then that suggests to me that they at the very least knew about the buttons sinking in, okay? And I have no idea whether or not that also implied that the button wasn't working. Possibly they damaged the ribbon cable here. I can't see any damage myself. I can't see any visible damage, but maybe somehow they damaged the ribbon cable when they were working on it, because this is the power button. This is the one that we decided doesn't work, and this is the one that has that discrepancy that doesn't look like the rest. So you can draw your own conclusions from that. I don't know. I'm not going to jump to conclusions. I don't know whether the guy knew about this, whether he did it, whether someone else did it. I don't know. But I'm just thought I'd point that out to you. Anyway, in addition to that, as you can see, I can see it a lot better in person, but basically I don't see any issue with the ribbon cable. It doesn't appear ripped in any place. Same for like this ribbon cable, that ribbon cable. And like I said, when I said over here that this is the button, this button doesn't light up, that button doesn't light up, the button doesn't